What's more fun than reviewing a pre-made reading journal? Reviewing 2 of them. Little Inklings said, "We're giving readers options," and I said, "Great, I'll take both." Let's take a thorough look at the Little Inklings always fully booked Undated planner and novel companion reading journals. Hi, I'm Erin, and while I'm a big fan of DIYing my journals for myself, I know not everyone has the time, energy, or inclination, so I test out pre-made reading journals to help you find the perfect fit for your reading habits. Shout out to those of you who put the Little Inklings reading journals on my radar. I'm always open to suggestions for new reading journals to review. Little Inklings is a Canadian stationery company created especially with book lovers in mind, and all their products are designed and packaged by brand founder Megan Easter. Along with their reading journal range, they also offer e-reader accessories, colouring books, stickers, bookmarks, and more. I'm all about supporting small businesses, so I purchased the 2 journals I'm showcasing in this video with my own money, and this video isn't sponsored or endorsed by Little Inklings in any way. I just really like talking about reading journals. Having said that, I also purchased these journals a while ago, like July last year. It just took me a long time to get to making this video, so the exact versions of the notebooks I'm showing in this video aren't currently listed on the Little Inklings website. It's possible those ones are no longer available, I'm not sure, I'm sorry. But other versions of them are still available with different covers, and in the case of one of them, slightly different functionality, so sorry about that. Today we're looking at the always fully booked Undated planner. Yes, it calls itself a planner, not a reading journal, and rightfully so. It's kind of like a reading journal with day planner functionality built in, and I think it's an inspired concept. If you're already someone who uses a planner day to day, incorporating reading journaling spreads into that habit might help you stay on top of your reading tracking. It's a pretty hefty affair with 416 pages ready to track, challenge, review, and reflect on your reading, plan your weeks, and even incorporate some other media in a few select spreads. The version I'm showing is the bookish tarot card cover, which doesn't seem to be available anymore. At the moment, it only appears to be available in the Mystic Sword cover, which is also very lovely. It sells for $62 Canadian, and Little Inklings offer free shipping on Canadian orders over $150. There's a list of the countries they ship to available on their FAQ page too if you want to check that out. We'll also be taking a look at the slightly less intense, less planner hybridized version of their reading planner called a Novel Companion, which currently isn't listed on their website, but there are 2 further variations on it, a Novel Companion Lite and a Novel Companion Ultra. Without further ado, let's take a full flip through of both notebooks to see what's inside and even give a few spreads a little test run. Which one should we start with? How about we adopt the mentality of go big or go home to begin with, and then we can check out the Novel Companion after. Just popping the elastic at the back cover so I can really show you how gorgeous this cover is. This beautiful dark academia, slightly witchy tarot card kind of a theme. I love the metal corners reinforcing this, that's amazing. And this is also foiled, this text down the bottom. Always fully booked, a book lover's planner. It looks classy as heck. Shall we have a look inside? Loving the inside cover too, that's very cute. Maybe a little bit more cutesy. I mean, they're books, but some of them, like with the daisy covers and stuff, are giving a slightly different vibe to what we've got going on over here, but that's okay. It's still on theme. And this first sheet is a sticker sheet with some Kiss Cut stickers on it, which is a very nice touch. We've got format stickers over here, ebook, physical, and I guess that's audiobook. We've got 2 little flag stickers here, like a little pennant. Let's celebrate book mail. Today is a perfect day for reading. This is always a lovely touch when you've got a sticker for each month of the year. A nice little header. A few star rating stickers here. I really like the size of those ones, but there are only 8 of them, so that won't get you very far. I hope we have some star ratings printed on the pages in here, and some started and finished stickers as well, plus a couple of space fillers. That's pretty cute. We've got our nameplate page. This feels like printer paper as far as GSM. I would guess this is probably about an 80 GSM, just off the top of my head. So not like hardcore bullet journal girly paper like I'm used to, but I guess it would do the job. The spiral bounding, I think, gives you the opportunity to make a really thick journal like this without compromising a spine. Dates to remember, very plannery kind of a vibe. I appreciate this nice big gutter so that you're not writing on top of the ring binder. I'm not a huge fan of ring bound things for that reason, to be honest. Like, it's good that you can fully fold it back around on itself and flip things as you need to, but I'm more of a bound journal girly myself, so this is a bit of a departure for me. That's okay, we're learning, we're growing. As far as dates to remember in a reading journal, I guess I'd use that as like a release radar kind of thing when books are coming out. Important info, I like this. I like that you can set your own star rating system over here. I've seen lots of that kind of thing where it's like 5 stars for me means this. Most anticipated books, I like that. Conversion formulas, percentage of books read. Current page divided by total pages times 100. Oh, this is interesting to include. I have apps that do this for me. Fascinating to see the maths laid out. I am not a maths girly, so I'm very glad to not have to do that. Thank you, Storygraph, for taking that off my hands. And there's a space for a legend here in case you want to do some kind of bullet journal style symbols, I guess, or anything else that you need to refer back to. Nice open section for goals. This is cut a little wonky. The line doesn't line up with the edge of the paper, but that's not a huge deal. You could make this really cute. Make some illustrative kind of goals, whatever your reading goals are. Reading checklist. Oh, cool. I guess you could interpret this in a bunch of ways, but I would probably just make this the list of all the books I've read in whatever period this covered. Reading checklist continues, but with a different colored header, so you could use all of these for different checklists, I guess, or this could be like a physical TBR, all the books on your bookshelf that you want to read. Speaking of bookshelves, we've got some bookshelf trackers here. Hello, Mitsu. Always got to have a cat come and inspect the reading journals to make sure they're good. Plenty of space for using your bookshelf tracker however you like, whether that's just listing out the books that you're reading as you go, or using some kind of color coding system to go maybe back with your key. Back over here, your legend. Could be format, could be genre, could be whatever you like. Book series tracker. Cool, this is how I tried to set mine up last year in my DIY reading journal. It actually didn't go that well for me, but I think it would work in this pre-printed kind of a system. Lots of space there for your book series across 2 pages. We've got a quote section. This is quite cute, actually. I like the color scheme. It's fun that they're a little bit different, like lined, and then also frames and things like that. I feel like a quotes page like this always puts so much pressure on you to have really nice handwriting, and if you feel like your handwriting is not the nicest, then this can be such a good chance to pull out something like letter stamps, because then you have kind of an aesthetic thing without having to worry about what your writing looks like. Or something like a thermal printer could work really well too. Then you can have typed quotes instead of handwritten. But if you're practicing your lettering, hand lettering your quotes can be really good too. We got another spread of those in different colors, and one more. This one's purple and beige and a little bit of pink. Pre-orders. There are not very many authors I will pre-order for, but B.K. Borison and Ashley Poston, yes, every time. We've got the release date, the book title, I guess, just says book, and from, so I guess where you've ordered it from, and a little checkbox over here. I suppose you could choose whether you wanted to mark that off for the book being released or you having read it. I'm not obsessed with the fact that release date here is sitting right on that bottom line. I feel like we could have just made that a touch prettier, but it does the job, like it would function. Author backlists. Oh, I've just set one of these up in my own reading journal for Bridget Camera. So you can put the name of your author and everything that they've written, separate them into series and things too if you like. I appreciate that there are different numbers of things here, so like a longer series, you can use some more space, or you can continue it, have sort of overflow. That's a cool setup, I like that. Books to reread. Oh, that's a sweet idea. I'm not a huge rereader, but it's a mark of me really, really loving a story if I do. So I do like the idea of giving them their own page over here. Whether that's setting the intention to reread those books within the year or whatever time period you're using this journal, or just books that you come across that you think, I would reread this, you can put it here to give it a moment of glory. My playlist. This is a fun idea. I like that it's almost set up like a Polaroid picture, but you can put the album artwork for whatever tracks you're associating with books or your reading playlist or whatever it is. That's a nice idea. A friend of mine assigns a song to every book she reads. I feel like that would work well for her. Movie tracker. Okay, so this is kind of a media journal, or is this just for movies based on books? Nothing is specified. There are no instructions, so you can interpret this truly however you like. Once again, checkbox, title, date, and a star rating. Those of us who prefer to media journal rather than just book journal, that's a cool little option. Oh, a TV tracker too. This is not something that I care about for my own journal, but I know a lot of people do, so it's really cool to see this included. It is interesting though that it's the Always Fully Booked, a book lover's planner. It's not kind of marketed as a media journal, so it'll be interesting to see how much of this kind of thing we get. I have a feeling it won't be a huge amount. Similar setup to the previous, it's just a closed table instead of being kind of open here. Checkbox, TV show, episode/season, so that's kind of cool too. You can really list it all out here. Some stuff has a lot of episodes to a season and a lot of seasons. Looking at you, Supernatural. This one actually, interestingly, has an instruction section up here, so it's open to your creativity. Funny that they are giving you instructions for a page that doesn't really need instructions, but I get it, because otherwise you'd be like, I don't know what this is for, potentially. So their suggestions are recording book club picks, your favorite book of each month, your top books of the year, or even selections for book boxes. So that's pretty cool. And if you wanted to make it super cute, you could add in printed book covers for these. So I'm just going to give them a little measure. Thank you, Mitsu. I can't see my ruler, sweetheart. Can I move you, please? This is 3.3 centimeters wide and 4 centimeters tall. I feel like they're a little more squat than your standard book cover really is, so you probably have a bit of a gap on either side. We'll test this out later. I'll print some book covers to fit. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 of those. So that works out well for a year's worth of tracking if you had one book per month. 5-star reads. Goodness me, if I had this many 5-star reads in a single year, I would have had the best reading year of my life. So space here for date read, book, and format. And we've got little icons for format. You could color it in, you could circle it, you could put a little check mark next to it. This is overkill for me. I wouldn't need a whole spread for this. I'm very picky about how I rate my books. An A to Z challenge. Try to read one book for every letter of the alphabet based on the title. Any book titles that contain the letter X or Z count for those letters. That's smart, because it can be really hard to find books that start with every letter. For a bigger challenge, titles starting with A or the don't count. Number represents any book title with a number in it. Love that. I've actually never tried an A to Z challenge, but I like the idea. Oh, this is a fun one. Fully booked reading challenge. So these are all prompts to help you read a bit more diversely, I guess, or get outside of your typical comfort zone, get you hunting for books that fit the prompts. So we've got an award-winning book from the previous year, a book with 25 letters in the title. These could be great bingo prompts too. Set in Europe, a snake on the cover, genre hybrid, a locked room mystery, a book with a BIPOC protagonist, season in the title, released 25 years ago, revenge theme, a book with a time of day in the title, that's an interesting one, a book set in a school, new to you author, a book you meant to read last year, a body of water in the title, recommended on social media, and we've got some more over here if you want to pause and have a little read of those, you're welcome to. And of course we've got a little book cover opportunity here as well. 2.5 centimeters wide and just over 3 centimeters tall. Gosh, we've seen so much already and we're not even up to these tabs. This one is a reading challenge about finding books with these items on the cover, things like the sun, sports equipment, a window, a butterfly, a cityscape, so on and so forth. And on this side we have a reading rainbow. So reading books with covers of every color in the rainbow. Yay, color spelled with a U, always makes me happy. We've got Roy G. Biv plus pink, gray, brown, black, white. And then we've got pattern, pastel, rainbow or multicolor, and your favorite color. That's a nice touch. Okay, the reading challenges continue. My goodness, if you were doing all of these, you'd have your work cut out for you. This one's a genre reading challenge: fantasy, romance, historical fiction, mystery, suspense, sci-fi, non-fiction, contemporary, horror / thriller, poetry, and classics. This one's a read through the ages challenge, which I like. So a book set in each of these time periods. They are by decades. So before 1869, and then you've got 1870s to 80s, 1890s to 1900s, and then every decade of the 1900s until 2010 to 2020s, and the future, which I guess is where we are now. And this one, we're going to turn the book for an around the world reading challenge. Whether you use a book setting, where an author is from, or a mix of both, complete this challenge by reading at least one book for each location. Cool. There's a little key down the side here, in case you want to add your own code for this, but North and South Americas, Europe, an island, any island, I guess, Africa, Antarctica, Arctic, Middle East, Australia, New Zealand, Aussie, Asia, and Russia. And I guess you could color it in as you go, which would always be fun too. Are there more reading challenges after this? Yep. Wait, I missed a page, hang on. Reading goal tracker, okay, that's fair. Goes up to 152, and you can write your goal in up the top here, color it in as you go along. Then we have a book bracket or battle of the books. So you could choose your favorite book from each month. They go up against each other in 4 rounds, and then the winner is the book that you liked the most for the whole year, presumably. This one is a vague tracker. This is a use it however you like kind of tracker. Add your own title at the top, and then there's space for, I'm assuming every month. Yeah, so 12 months across sideways 12 columns, 1 to 31, so that will work for whichever months you need. I like that you don't have to necessarily start it in January, because maybe you didn't pick up the journal for January. If you're jumping in more like the middle of the year, you can start whenever and just have it roll on through. I like that. And its background is doc grid paper, so you can add a little key down the bottom. That's pretty fun. Like a daily reading tracker or something like that would work well. Monthly reading stats. It's funny, I'm not a huge fan of turning my journals sideways like this, but for some reason in the ring binder, because of your ability to do this, it feels okay. I'm much more open to it. Love this as a person who loves a reading stat. Put your month in here, and then the number of books you read, the total pages or time. I'd write down both because I do write down both in my own reading journal. Choose your format, book, ebook, audio, DNF. You can keep a tally of your star rating here, so how many books got which star ratings from 1 to 5, and your average rating as well, which would be much easier to work out having filled this in. And books hauled. How many books did you buy? That's a good stat to keep track of. I'm not a physical book buyer or reader especially, so that's not something I track in my own journals, but I like that. And then we have the genre tally. This is a cool idea. So pop your genres down here, and for each month, I assume, yep, 12 spaces, 12 columns down here. You can tally up how many books you read in that genre, and at the end of the year, find out how many in total. I like that. That's a cool little touch. Carrying on. Oh, cool. Space for some pie charts. You know I love a pie chart in my own reading journal. Genres read, so you can take that information from over here and turn it into a nice little colourful pie chart if you'd like to. Space for a key for each one, which is a nice little touch too. Book format breakdown and star rating breakdown. So if you have any little slivers that are a particular colour and there isn't room to add the title for those ones, you can use your key section for those, always good. And this is space to add, I would assume, some kind of line or maybe bar chart. Storygraph does give you one of these at the end of the year that's, I think it's like a book mood line graph. So I'd probably just rip that off and put it here. I don't know how else I'd use that, but I do think it's cool that they've included it. Creative statisticians can probably come up with something more interesting. And then we've got some doc grid paper. Is it actually 5mm? Yes, it is. Thank goodness for that. 2 spreads, 3 spreads, and then, oh, this is a nice little touch. These aren't stickers, that's just a nice artwork page. To get us into a little calendar. Oh, okay, this is the first of our tabs. All right, so I'm assuming these are based on this for kind of a monthly thing. Yeah, it seems like it. So we've got a calendar here. It is undated, so you can use it for whatever month you like. I like to keep a reading progress calendar in my own journal where I track, I kind of just make a line that covers where I started and finished a book and write which book it was over the color. This would work just fine for that. It doesn't have the doc grid, so it's a little harder to keep things lined up, but like, we have rulers, right? That would work. Little section down here for most anticipated book, and some extra notes if you like. You could do something with book covers here if you wanted to, because that is kind of the vertically oriented aspect ratio. And of course you got to put the name of your month up the top, and you have your stickers from back at the beginning, so it's all going to look cohesive with the lettering style of the journal overall, which is nice. And they have not labeled the tabs, so you can make that whatever month you like. What do we get in our monthly pages? I'm going to assume, just from the little look that I've had, yes, that these are all the same to get us through to the end of the year. Cool, and then there's another tab after that. So this is what we get each month. Books to read, set yourself a little TBR. I love that it's not called to be read, because I just don't love that term personally. I know it is the widely accepted one, I just don't enjoy it myself. Books to read. Put your month in there again, the year, because of course this could span several years if you wanted it to. Author and title, pretty straightforward. And then new releases. That's a bit of overkill for me. I don't think I need that much, but some people really do read all of the new releases the month they come out. I'm feeling like this is, especially even going back to the calendar, you know how on the front it calls itself a book lover's planner? This could be actually just used as a planner, you know, put your to-do lists, put your events, put your birthdays, put your reminders on your calendar, whatever it is that you might do in a planner ordinarily, it seems like it could work over here. Second weekly, Third weekly, I'm gonna guess there'll be 5. Fourth weekly, yes. Fifth, just to cover your bases no matter what month you're in, how things fall, how the dates line up. Bookish haul, so you can put down here the date, the book that you bought, where you got it from, and whatever other column information you think might be useful. Maybe price, maybe you can use that as a checkbox if you read that book. Maybe you can note down whether it was brand new or secondhand, the format that you bought it in if that's something that you track. Could be not necessarily books too, could be bookish merch as well. And then we have the reading wrap up. So is this the end of month stats? I think so. List of all the books that you've read, seems to me. Reading stats, total number of books read, average rating, pages read / hours listened, print, ebook or audiobook format counts. Best book, put your title there. Not a huge amount of room there for something with a long title, but we can squish into it, or we can potentially use a thermal printer if we have access to one. Genres read, and a couple of blank boxes that you can use however you prefer. Cool. Dot grid page, lined pages. How many of these have we got? Just the one, and then it goes into the next month. So that's interesting. That's really cute. I like that. Interesting that there's no space for a dedicated book review. Obviously, that's something you could add yourself within these pages, whether that's just for your favorite 1 or 2 books, or if you kind of split it up into thirds or something like that and did some shorter, more minimal book reviews. That does seem like a little bit of an oversight to me. Just gonna check that these pages are indeed the same as the previous. Of course, you could be making notes on these weeklies just about your reading too if you weren't looking for a legitimate planner. You just wanted the book journal kind of parts of this, and I guess you could rip out anything that you don't think you want to necessarily use, or if you thought you wouldn't use those weeklies, you could kind of just paperclip that section closed and pretend it does not exist, use it for other notes, cover it with book covers, whatever it is. That does indeed appear to be the same. So I'm gonna flick forward now to our reviews section, which is probably what I was just whinging about not having. Ooh, you could color these ones in. Wait. Hang on, I just saw the word quarterly here, so I'm guessing there are extra bits for some of them? Yeah, quarterly check-in. So I assume if I were to go back over here, they'd be the same thing? Yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll just look at this one. What do you got in your quarterly check-in? Standout reads. We've got like 3 lines to write on here, so whether that's 3 separate books, 1 per month, or just the ones that stood out to you the most. Fit as much as you can on the lines if you want to do several. Current loves, author, character, TV show, movie, music, and place I visited. Just a little bit of a life wrap up. I enjoy having this kind of info in my own journal too, so that's fun. Not in my reading journal, but in my everyday journal, which this could be both, so fair enough. Genre breakdown, add your own genres. Haven't divided that one up this time. Reading goal progress, so how many books you read versus what your goal is. Reading stats. So we've got monthly stats, we've now got quarterly stats, and there are annual stats back at the beginning. That's a lot of stats. That might be too much stats for me. I don't think I need quarterly as well as monthly, but if you didn't need monthly, if you were someone who reads a little bit slower or a little bit less, and you wanted to just do your reading stats quarterly, you have the option to do that here and skip the monthly one, so that's totally fair. Too much is better than not enough, in my opinion. So we've got here amount read, which is a bit vague. I guess like total number of books for the quarter, maybe. Break it down by format, number of print, number of ebook, number of audiobook, number of rereads, and number of did not finish. Then over here, memorable moments. Also goals progress, which like we've got your reading goal here, but they gave you space to set all sorts of goals back at the beginning, didn't they? So keeping an eye on those. And books I want to read in the next quarter, so you can set some intentions for the coming months. Little reading wrap up. This might just be because it's the last month, I would guess. I'm gonna assume this particular reading wrap up isn't in the previous quarter, because it does say, yeah, most anticipated releases of next year. So you've already got your stats at the beginning. This is a separate reading wrap up. Bit of reflection. Favorites, book, series, standalone, author, authors, book cover, characters, movie, TV show, music, and place I visited. Your top 10 books of the year. Hopefully that won't be too difficult to come to. I have a rating system that helps me with that kind of thing. Check out my video about it up here if you like. I devised it myself. Reading stats, kind of in total. So total number of books read. Did you hit your reading goal, yes or no? Number of pages, most read genre, number of print, ebook, audiobook, average rating for the whole year, and the total number of books hauled. That could be a bit confronting for some of us. And then of course, most anticipated releases of next year to help you move into your next journal after this one, a blank one for anything that you want to shout out, that you want to highlight, and memorable moments down here. Now this is specifically called reading wrap up, so this will be memorable reading moments, I guess, buddy reads, reading retreats, moments you were kicking and screaming over books, crying, whatever. I love that these look like you could color them in. I think that's really fun. Always a good time. And then, okay, here we are. Here are our book reviews. I was wondering where you were, and I finally found you. So you fill out your monthly stuff, and then you flick back here whenever you want to put down your thoughts on a book that you finished. Space for your book cover. How are we doing here? I always love to know, because I'm going to test this out. So 2.5 by just over 3 centimeters. I'm guessing these will all be the same. That does indeed appear to be the case. And they've given you room for a stack of them, which is nice. So 4 to a spread. We've got title, author, date started and finished in the one category. They're not separate, which is interesting. I have no qualms with that. I kind of do that in my own reading journal too. I'll just write like February 23 to 28. So I'm okay with that. Length, you can put your total page count or audiobook length count there. So this is kind of cool. There's a source section. Is it from your own collection, from the library? Was it an ARC or something else? Maybe you borrowed it from a friend. Maybe you picked it up from a little free library. Publication date is always good to have. Do you recommend it? Yes, no, maybe. That depends. The recommendation question is always a tricky one, because there are books that I would recommend to some people, but not others, you know. Genre, format with little icons, posted. That's an interesting one. Is that for all of our bookstagrammers, book talk content creators? You want to say like you've posted about this book, give it a little tick. I guess we can ignore that if you're not. Obviously you've got your star rating here right under the book cover. The setting, I don't know about that one. I don't think I need that field, but could be interesting if you're going for that kind of reading around the world tracker, or even the time period one with all the decades. You could put your time setting or your location setting. Main character. Sometimes I forget the main character's name, so that actually could be a really useful one. And then just a space for your thoughts here. So these are quite compact. And if you are getting 4 to a spread every time, 31, 32, 33, 34. So that's space for 152 books, which from memory related back to the goal section back here, I think. Where is it? Yeah, 152. So you've got space for the same with regards to your reviews. And then we've just got some dot grid paper and some lined paper at the back to take us out. Designed in Canada, printed in China. That is a lovely little journal. It's pretty comprehensive, hey, much more so than some of the other reading journals that I've tried out in the past. So that's the version for the super avid reader. I'm very curious now to find out what we get in the novel companion by comparison. Shall we find out? Little nameplate page at the beginning here. I'm guessing these are going to be largely similar, just kind of less overall. So this is the same first spread. Still got your important info, your rating system, anticipated reads, the math formulas for conversion if you need help with that stuff. I think that's actually such a good resource. Legend and your goals over on this side. Dates to remember, that's also the same as the previous. Reading checklist, we've got one spread here for your checklist. No, sorry, I lied. We've got 2 of those. And then we go into the bookshelf. I didn't actually count in this one because there were a few, there were more than one spread of these, but let's count the books. 60 on this page and 40 on this page, so 100 altogether, and a little space for a title down the bottom if you like, or a key, or whatever you prefer. Then we've got our quotes spread. We've got 2 of those. We had 3 in this one. Book series tracker, just a single page this time, and a wish list. Did we have a wish list in this one? I don't think we did. I guess this version of the journal assumes that if you want it, you'll just buy it. You don't need a wish list. But this is a useful thing. Checkbox when you've got it, item, from, and price. Okay. Author backlists, a single page of those, still a fun thing to have just for your favorites. Books to reread, I still think is a charming idea. Our vague 1 book cover for each month if you're doing 12 months in this journal kind of a thing. Still got your book bracket, still got your 5-star reads page. We've still got some challenges too, so the A to Z challenge remains. This one with the prompt, the fully booked challenge. Ooh, I think they're different prompts. Oh, there's some overlap. Okay, the first one is an award-winning book from the previous year for both, but then maybe they're different. I'm so okay with them being different. I think that's quite interesting actually. Then we have the On the Cover challenge over on this side. Different prompts here as well. Planes and boats, a chair or a couch, a mythical creature, birds, the reading rainbow on this side, same rainbow as before, Roy G. Biv with purple, pink, grey, brown, black, patterns, pastel, rainbow, etc. Genre challenge, reading through the ages challenge, and the read around the world challenge are all the same too. The tracker, for you to use however you like. The reading goal tracker, this one goes up to 90, and then we've got our monthly reading stats and genre tally, much the same. We've got pie charts again over here, and the space to add that bar or line graph if you want to add something like that. Dot grid pages, a few of those. And here we are getting into the monthly stuff. So calendar, kind of similar, just takes up a full spread instead of a single page in this one. Still got space for notes down the side, most anticipated book. So you could still use this as a planner if you wanted to, but this one does feel specifically book related, and there weren't any TV or movie trackers in the beginning of this one. Books to read for the month, new releases, bookish haul, reading wrap up for the month. This looks pretty similar as well. So list of the books that you read, total number, average rating, pages read / hours listened, tally up your formats. This is really helpful when it comes to those looking back over the whole year stats type pages, because you've got the information to transfer there. If you didn't have this, it would be a little bit trickier. Best book, genres read, couple of blank spaces. Into our spare ones, just the single dot grid and a single lined page, and then we go into the next month. So I'm guessing those are the same. I wonder if this one has quarterly bits. Maybe not. Just continuing on. Yeah, just getting you through those months. So let's skip towards the back where those taper off. Each month is a different color, which I think, oh, here we go. Sorry, I nearly went past it. Each month seems to be a different color, which is cool. Oh yeah, that's a good one. In my bookish era, that'd be so fun to color in, and a lovely bookshelf as well. And this is the title page for our book reviews, which seem to be just the same as the ones in here. How many do we get this time? I'm gonna guess 90, since this one had enough to tie in with the goal thing. 1, 2, 3, 92 actually. I guess that's just maths, you know, it had to be a multiple of 4. We've got dot grid pages, and I'm guessing probably a couple of lined ones. Yep, at the back here. And that's the companion. So they're actually pretty similar. Oh, I just picked this up and there's little bits of punched paper. Let me just get those out of the way. So this one really is like the baby sibling of this one. If this seems like overkill for you, this is probably the go. Because these two journals are so similar, I feel like I only want to ruin one of them by giving it a proper test run. So I'm going to try out the novel companion as far as paper. It feels like it's the same paper across both to me, so I think that will be good to have a pen test that can represent both of them. This one I'm actually going to give away, but over on Instagram. So I'll have the post linked down in the description in case you want to enter the giveaway for this one. Go and check it out on my Instagram if you're keen to maybe get your hands on this very exact, always fully booked book lovers planner from Little Inklings. It will have my grubby fingerprints all over it though, sorry about that. This one we're going to take for a little road test. These are the pens I'm going to give a little try. I'm going to switch to the back of the journal for this though, just so that it's not too overbearing. With the journals that I have lightly tested out, like I'm going to do with this one, I will take them to a community book swap and leave them there so that if anybody's interested in a gently used journal, they can still make use of it if they want to. Let's try, oh, I can't do lined pages. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go back to the dot grid ones. When you've been working in bullet journals as long as I have, lined pages start to look really foreign. This is a Tombow Fudenosuke brush tip pen, so I'm just gonna see how it goes as far as bleeding, ghosting, how pens perform on it, all that kind of stuff. I haven't used a Fudenosuke in a while. This is looking much nicer than I remember. Oh, I spoke too soon. I'll pop all the lettering down first and then we'll turn the page and analyze everything at once. Next up is a Pentel brush sign pen. This one's like a fuchsia pink and it's looking pretty good. I swear every time I search for these pens, they've got a different name. Brush sign, brush touch, brush up. I never know what's correct. They all seem to be much the same pen. This one's a trusty Tombow dual brush pen in the 379 colorway, which is this lovely kind of turquoise, teal kind of a vibe. Tombow. That's such a nice color. Next up we've got an acrylic marker. This one's from Grabby. It has a fine tip on it in green. Sometimes I find these fine tipped, oh yeah, it's doing it. It really did it on the B just there. Fine tipped paint marker things. It's almost like feedback with a fountain pen, right? It scratches as it moves across the paper and then the acrylic paint flicks kind of everywhere. That isn't exclusive to this paper though. I've had that happen on all sorts. It's probably user error, but I don't know how to prevent it. Let me know if you know, please. That'd be great. This one is also an acrylic marker. This one's from Languo via JOURNALSAY, and these are brush tip markers, so much juicier kind of paint payoff, much bigger lettering necessary. Oof, bit tricky actually. Jumping out of order, going back to a water-based like felt tip marker. This is the Pilot Fude Makase in black. These ones have a really, really tiny, minuscule brush tip, which means you can letter really small with them if you need to, but they still work. Like, it's a very soft brush tip, so they can still work in larger areas too. Pilot Fude, in case you were wondering why every brand has that in the name, Fude is the Japanese brush calligraphy, hence the title. And we have to try a fountain pen because I know my fountain pen people will want to know. This is a maker pen. It's from Pete's Bespoke Pens. I picked it up at the Melbourne Pen Show last year. It's from his Baron range. This one has Chiyogami paper. So you can't get this exact pen, but he has kind of similar ones from the same range. It has a medium nib, and the ink I have in this one is Blueberry Milkshake from Ink Institute, which was an exclusive at the Melbourne Pen Show last year. So sorry, you can't get this one anymore. So we'll have to do a little fountain pen test as well. So it's all looking pretty good from the front. I'm okay with that. Nothing looks too worrisome from this side, but when we flick it, oh, actually not too bad. The Pentel brush sign is maybe bordering on the tiniest bit of bleeding there, definitely ghosting a little bit, but nothing too offensive really. Like, that's pretty good. The acrylic markers really sit on top of the page rather than absorbing into the paper, so they've done pretty well too. The fountain pen has got the tiniest little touch of something coming through there, but you can barely see it, so that's not too shabby. I'm impressed. Do you know what I didn't test though is a regular like waterproof felt tip marker. So let's go with one that's kind of thick. This is the Sakura Pigma Micron 08, just in case. And for those who prefer a gel, this is the Muji gel pen in the 0.5. I'm personally not a gel pen lover, but I do quite like these ones. If I have to pick a gel pen, it's gonna be the Muji. So once more, have a little look. Oh yeah, those are fed completely fine. Nothing to worry about. So let's see, where would we begin here? I don't feel like I have a lot to contribute as far as the important info, the goals. I'm not gonna write my name in the front. Dates to remember, I don't really feel that I need a lot of either. This is quite straightforward. I just really want to try anything that's a bit different, you know? Since I mentioned actually stamps and printing my quotes, I thought we might maybe try that out. This one is the PHOMEMO MO2 Pro printer, and I have a discount code for it if you'd like. I have it linked in the description as well in case you think something like this could be beneficial to you. This quote is from Carving Shadows into Gold by Bridget Kemmerer, which I finished reading quite recently. Just gonna give it a little bit of a trim down. Thankfully the PHOMEMO paper is quite nicely sized for the width of these quote sections. I'm going to pop this one, and I'm gonna tempt fate for my second one. I'm gonna use the VersaFine Onyx Black ink pad with my stamp set. This stuff I think will probably bleed, but it's a good test. This quote is actually from the same book, Carving Shadows into Gold, the second book in the Forging Silver into Stars series by Bridget Kemmerer. I really like this quote. Old just means I'm not dead yet. I don't have an apostrophe in this particular stamp set, so I'm just gonna pretend that there's one there. Sorry if that bothers you. I didn't leave enough space to add one in. See if I can really carefully get just the dot. Yeah. Let's see how we held up to that VersaFine ink pad. Oh yeah, bit of ghosty. Nothing too severe though. I thought I'd see a lot more bleeding than that, so that's quite impressive. This would look so good all filled in, and of course, if you wanted to add extra stuff, you know, stickers, washi tape. I'm just grabbing a couple of bits out of my reusable sticker book because these are little bits left over from things. I thought that would be a good way to fill it in a bit, you know. Add your own bit of character, bit of charm. I think That could be so cute. I really like that. Okay, onward. We don't need to do extra quote pages. Shall we try out the series tracker? I'm interested. Since the announcement of the next 2 books in the ACOTAR series has just happened quite recently at the time I'm recording this, let's do that. So book series, I'm going to put the title here, A Court of Thorns and Roses. So it has 1, 2, 3, and then there's Frost and Starlight. Does it actually count as book 4? I would have thought it would be like a 3.5. Okay, we'll call it 4 if Goodreads calls it 4. 5 is Silver Flames. And then we've now got 6 and 7 pending. Obviously, if there were more books, you could just keep going down here until you hit whatever limit it is. Brandon Sanderson, I'm looking at you. And the books that you have read, actually, let's do this in color. I should have done this with the Pigma Micron because this is the gel pen from Muji and it's probably going to smear when I color it in, but I have read the first 5 ACOTAR books. Maybe, oh, it's gonna smear. I'll try and be really gentle. No, smeary, smeary. That was my choice of pen though. If I went with something waterproof, that wouldn't have happened. Or if I colored it in first and then put my numbers over the top, you know. Let's do something else kind of topical here. We'll do Bridgerton for the next one, or Bridgertons. I think the official book title is officially plural, Bridgertons. It's got lots of like novella, epilogue, extra chapters and stuff that they count as 1.5. So for the purposes of testing this tracker out really well, I'm going to count them as their own books. Even though you can get them, I think, in the newer versions of a lot of the books just included at the end as a bonus chapter. I honestly wasn't having the greatest time with the Bridgerton books either. I've read as many as seasons have been released, so I'm up to date with the TV show. Okay, I think that brings us up to how many Bridgerton books there are. I have read the first 4. Hopefully this won't be too smeary. I've still got a bit of the ink left. Oh, a little bit. It's not too bad. It's better than the top one. So this is kind of how this works. If you like to have the name of each book in the series, not just the title of the series, it's probably not the ideal book tracker, but it does the job. I'm not going to do anything about a wish list. I've just done an author backlist actually, so should we do one of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you could put ACOTAR here if we were going to go with the Sarah J Maas theme, Throne of Glass maybe, and like Crescent City down here, or down this one, but that, you know, then they're split up. I'm going to skip that one because I think you can imagine pretty well. We don't need to do anything with the books to reread. I do want to try putting a book cover on this page though. Let me take those measurements again and write them down this time. Maybe 3.2 centimeters by 4 centimeters tall. I usually just do the height measurement and size my book covers to that. When I'm making book covers for my journals, if you are an inches person, that is 1¼ inches wide by 1½ tall approximately. Just going to tear forward and see if there are any more book covers I should be printing at the same time because I don't want to do that multiple times. I'll print one for our book reviews at the same time. 2½ centimeters wide by 3.1, 3.2-ish tall, which for users of inches is 1 inch wide by 1¼ tall. They mentioned book club picks and that made me think it would be good to do something that we've just read for my book club. So I did this one, Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. I seem to have made it ever so slightly too tall. I think it's a bit shorter on this side because it's not actually maybe a perfect rectangle. And as I suspected, we have a little bit of space left over, but I feel like you could just color it in, right, in a color that matches the book cover. And that would be just fine. It's actually really hard to color in around it, so maybe color it in first and then put your book cover down. But that's pretty good. That worked okay. And this would look really fun, all filled in and maybe colored in the rest of the way too. Oh wait, I didn't give Hemlock and Silver a rating. I'm actually gonna use a smaller marker for it because these stars are really, really thin. It's a little tricky to color in a very thin-edged star. You need to be careful to stay within the lines if that's something you care about. I rated this one 4.25, so I'm just going to try and color in a quarter as well. Imagine that, but across the whole spread. It would look so impactful. That's pretty fun. Moving on. I don't feel like we need to mess too much with these things. The challenges and everything is kind of personal preference, you know, but you could of course print book covers for these too. If you're curious how I print my book covers, here's a video I made about it. I print them on sticker paper with a printer at home and then I cut them out with my Cricut into Kiss Cut stickers. I really don't feel like we need to do any of the stats either because that's always going to look different for different people. I do feel like there's enough room here. I'm not going to do it in this journal because it would take away from the functionality of whoever ends up with it having 12 months to use. But something like a tiny book cover and then the line continuing from there would be so cool. And because these boxes are quite large, you could do that and it would work out really nicely. Books to read, new releases, bookish haul. No, I don't think we need to do anything with those ones. So I'm just going to flick forward to the reviews, and I'm actually just going to do the last one back here, this one down the bottom. I'm going to use the Muji. Oh, maybe we could do something pretty with the title. Maybe this one. There's enough room to do something pretty with the title. I just read this one recently. Good, good. And now back to you by B.K. Borison, one of my favorite authors. I started this one on February 16 and I finished it on February 25th. Apparently it has 448 pages. Hello, Mitsu. You gotta be careful doing that around candles, bud. What's your tail? Published on the 24th of February 2026, very recent. Yeah, I'd recommend it. I don't really know what to fill out this section, my collection, library, arc, other. I bought it, like I paid for it on Kindle. So I guess Kindle. Kindle. There we go, I missed a letter. Genre, this one's contemporary romance. Not a huge amount of room there for genres, so if you're doing multiple genres, that might be tricky. It kind of looks like a phone, but I guess I did this one digitally, so we'll call it that. Posted, I don't really need to do anything with. Setting, I guess the setting for this one, maybe I'll just use it more like keywords for myself. So this is a winter book. If you're wanting to romanticize winter, this is probably a good one. I was going to add more, but I can't think of anything. The main characters for this one are Delilah and Jackson. Dual point of view. Of course, I did indeed print a book cover to go here. I just think people get their aspect ratios off when it comes to book covers. They're usually a little bit taller and thinner than they think or they allow space for. Just going to fill out the thoughts section. Don't read this if you don't want spoilers. Something to note here, having just filled this in, there's no section in the reviews for you to make a note about whether something is part of a series or not. This book is the second in a series of 3 interconnected standalones. There's only 2 out so far, but there's nowhere for me to make a note of that, so I would probably just put up here above. Heartstrings number 2, just so I have that information, because that's useful to have, I guess. Color in my star rating, I gave this one 4.5. Pretty good, pretty high rating from me. I almost never give out a perfect 5 stars. I think only twice last year, and I read 60 something books. I'm a hard taskmaster, what can I say? And that brings us basically to the end of the journal. Just noticed turning the page there that I've had a little bit of bleeding from my coloring my star rating stamp, so you might want to not use a felt tip marker for that. Something like a brush pen might be a bit too much. Maybe just stick to your good old biro, or maybe an acrylic paint marker would do better. They're internally very similar, so I feel like I can talk about them kind of as a unit. I actually don't know which one I would choose for my own reading habits. I feel like the Always Fully Booked planner might actually be a little bit of overkill for me. I would potentially maybe go for the novel companion. I love that you still get all of the challenges. I think that's really fun. But if you were someone who reads a lot every year, then I definitely think this one would probably be the way to go. I like to give the reading journals I review a star rating, much like the way I rate my books. Since these two are so similar, I'll be rating them together, so here are the criteria I'll be rating them against. Book cover, internal aesthetic, practicality and function, and enjoyment. Starting with the book cover. There are multiple covers available for Little Inklings bookish notebook offerings, and obviously I picked my favourites from what was available at the time I purchased. They're nice covers, but I've reviewed reading journals previously with covers that I liked more. I mentioned I'm also not a huge fan of ring-bound notebooks generally, and while I appreciate the function of it when you're working with 416-page tomes like this, I do think it would stick out like a sore thumb on your actual bookshelf, especially if you're someone who collects beautiful special editions. But I guess with its planner functionality, the Always Fully Booked reading planner isn't supposed to live on your bookshelf, it's probably supposed to go on your desk, but in any case, I'm giving them 3.5 stars for the cover. Next up is internal aesthetic. They definitely have traditional planner girly vibes, which is not really my personal aesthetic, but they've also allowed a lot of room for personalization, and the coloring pages especially are super lovely. I feel like Little Inklings have a brand aesthetic and they're sticking to it, and I respect that, so I'm going with 4 stars. Practicality and function are where these journals shine. The Always Fully Booked is especially easy to navigate with its colourful tabs, but both are arranged and laid out thoughtfully. I actually think I love the book review section being separate from the monthly pages because it means you don't end up with wasted review slots in your slower reading months or awkward overflow in your heavier reading months. Both options were far more comprehensive than so many of the reading journals I've tested out before, which makes it clear these planners were designed by someone who actually reads and cares about tracking their reading. 4.5 stars. And finally, enjoyment. I so enjoyed reviewing these reading journals. The innovation of combining them with planning elements, the sheer number of fun reading challenges to choose from, the artwork sprinkled throughout, they're a pretty joyful experience, and I can see them being so easy to integrate for someone new to keeping a reading journal. 4 stars. That brings us to a total score of 16 out of 20, which gives the Little Inklings bookish tracking tools a final rating of 4 out of 5. Very respectable indeed. Would you use one of these journals for your own reading trackers? How do you feel about combining a planner and a reading journal? Do you think the Always Fully Booked or a novel companion is a better fit for you? And are there any other reading journals out there that you'd like to see me try? Leave me a comment below. I'd love to keep the conversation going. If you're keen to see what else is out there, I have a whole playlist of reading journal reviews that you can see right here. Otherwise, here's another video YouTube thinks you might like. And don't forget to head over to my Instagram if you want to enter the giveaway for the Always Fully Booked planner that I featured in this video.